turned out to be such a beautiful day. It's really hard to not want to work on the bus, but I know if we paint it, it's going to rain tomorrow, and then the paint might run off just like it did the other day. So we're not going to do that. However, that doesn't mean that an interesting development in the bus conversion project didn't happen today, because it did. Today, we find our solar panel. We have a mixed carton. I don't know what that does. It should total 480 watts worth of solar power, which should be enough to just basically run our whole lives. Solar system has arrived. Pretty cool. I have no idea what this stuff is. Check this out.
Whoa!
Choco. Leave it alone. She's trying to lift some electrical parts.
We're going off grid.
The install kit I got. The inverter charger remote we got. And we have this large inverter. That's good. The problem is only 2 solar panels came out. Each panel is 160 watts. 160 plus 160 is equal to 320. That is 160 less than 480, which means we're missing a solar panel. Okay, so I think I figured out how the system works. If you're familiar with solar kits and you see me doing something wrong, then it would be really great to get some feedback in the comment section below. Here we go. So the solar panels are in here. I'm not opening them up right now because they, well, I don't want them to start making electricity yet. The minus and the minus go from there into this little switch here. They connect together with this guy, and then they'll go into a long one. And that happens on this side as well. So we've got the solar panels connected, and then they're going to come into here. This is called the solar panel controller. Now, so the controller is going to be mounted inside of the bus. It's got these ports. They seem to be the perfect size to fit into this kind of wire. This red wire will come from the solar panel and come into here where it says plus, solar panel. And the black will come into here. And I'll cut these wires and then plug them in so that they can go to the batteries. The red will run along and go through this fuse system. And the black will run along and go directly to the negative terminal on the battery. I don't have my batteries yet. That's how the solar panels will be connected to the batteries. And then the battery will be connected to the inverter. The inverter and the battery are connected via these very heavy, thick cables. This large, crazy looking, scary fuse, I think I'm going to cut this here and put it into the end of this one and into the end of this one. And then this will be the fuse should anything terrible happen with these. The red will go to the red of the inverter, the black will go to the black of the inverter, and then the inverter should be able to produce power. This is AC input, and then this is the inverter's AC output. That means that this will be what drives all of our appliances in the house. For example, our computer chargers and our phones and the kitchen appliances and all this stuff. AC input will be should we get shore power, meaning if we want to plug in at like a campground or something like that to get power. We have the remote, which is just connected with a telephone wire to this fancy looking device. We also have battery temp, which runs along this wire back to the battery. My guess is that this device here connects onto one of the terminals of the battery. But I'll probably just read about whatever it says that connects to. And that's the solar system as it has arrived today. It looks fairly complete, but at the same time, there are some things that I'm very curious about that I don't understand. For example, how does this plug in my computers and things like that? So when we're running this power from here, I get that we're going to have to run wires from here, but there's no connectors or anything. And is it going to be like cool AC power that we can run using our computers? I still don't know about that. So we can break it down like this. This solar extreme system diagram is what we got. Let's see, we got 2 of the solar panels, which means we're curious about what happened to this one. This refrigerator vent, that's unimportant. We have the charger controller. It seems as if we have the right fuse. We don't have the batteries yet, but that didn't come with the kit. The inverter, which is that huge fuse, it looks like we have that. We have the inverter, we have the inverter remote. We're missing also the 30 amp transfer switch, and then also a 75 amp converter charger, and also the fuse that goes in there. We do have the correct connectors here, although we're missing, of course, the ones for the extra solar panel. Can the AC panel run straight to the inverter? And maybe that's why we don't have the transfer switch. Maybe we're not missing any pieces, and it's just that I'm going to run the inverter straight to the AC panel, and then we won't need any of this. But when I ordered, I specifically asked so that we would have the connectors to do shore power, meaning that we could plug in from the outside world. But because there is an AC input on the inverter, perhaps that would charge the batteries, and we don't need this 30 amp transfer switch.